Hey everybody, Asian Fasha Gamer here. I just want to take a second, put out a small disclaimer to let you all know that I am not a mental health professional. I just want to do my best to be able to help others with my own experience, and at the very least, hope to be able to point people in the right direction if they do need help. And of course, I also want to remind people that we do go into very heavy and potentially triggering subjects. So that is something to be considered. But I do appreciate your support for you being here. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Fahzaly Advice. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fahzaly Advice. I want to take a second to say thank you to you, our viewers, because your support means the absolute world, or this podcast means the world to me. So thank you for viewing, for liking, and for all that you do. And of course, thank you to our submitters, for without you, there would be no podcast. And to anybody that is looking or interested in submitting to the Fahzaly Advice podcast, please wait until the very end of the podcast as you will receive information on just how to do this. Now then, let's get on into our first submission, shall we? This one is brought to us by Nervous About Dating. And they write, Dear Fahza, thank you so much for reading this. And if this does end up on the podcast, thank you for that. Now, let's get into it. I have been happily single for 3 years now, and I have been loving every minute of it. But now I think it's time to get back out there and start dating again. As I said, it's been 3 years since I've been even dating or considering a relationship, and I am not exactly a college student. In fact, I am 33 years old, single, and now ready to mingle. What advice would you give someone like me who is not exactly on the younger side, but looking to get back out there and maybe find something special? Sincerely, Nervous About Dating. Well, nervous about dating. I'm going to be honest with you right now. It's been a while since I've been on the market, as well as I have been happily in a relationship for a while now, for over 3 years. And I am very much so happy in this relationship. But when it comes down to it, there are some things that need to be considered when it comes to getting into the dating game in this much older fashion, in a later fashion. And one of the main things to consider when it comes to that is the fact is you need to know what you want when you go out there. Do you want a casual relationship? Are you looking for something serious? Obviously, you are looking for something serious, at the very least something special, because you alluded to that at the end of your message or at the end of your submission. So, with that consideration, explore that. Before you get yourself out there, explore what you want and sort of concrete that. It's not exactly something that needs to be concreted, but the better you understand what you want out of a relationship or what you're looking for in the dating game, the easier it will be for you to filter out all of the people out there that are trying to do the same, but might not be looking for what you're looking for. So there's going to be a lot of trial and error here when it comes to your relationship, what you're looking for, you as a person. All of these are going to be quite unique to you, and your experiences are going to be quite different. The best that I can give to you is based off of my experiences, but what I've experienced will not equate to what you will experience out there in the dating world. Because the truth is, I was in a relationship for a good long while, and we divorced. And that was a tumultuous part of my life. And then I found the love of my life, the person that I want to share the rest of my life with, someone whom I am currently in a relationship with and I absolutely love. But it wasn't easy finding them. There was a lot of moments where I was alone. There were a lot of moments where I thought there was something with somebody that led to absolutely nothing. And you're going to have to be ready for that when you go out there into the dating world. You're going to have to be ready to be disappointed. You're going to have to be ready to understand that there are a lot of people out there, and not all of them are looking for the same thing. And it takes time to find somebody who's willing to live life and be a partner to you in the way that you are looking for. But the first step, of course, is putting yourself out there with the understanding that you may have expectations, but that doesn't mean that those expectations will be met by the first person that you start dating, by the first person that you consider dating. And don't let the disappointments that you face in trying to find a partner dissuade you from looking. Because, like I said, there's going to be a lot of disappointments. There's going to be a lot of downfalls. There's going to be a lot of lonely nights, ultimately, when it comes down to it, because not everybody is lucky enough to find a relationship immediately. And more often than not, it takes a lot of time. It does. But that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. No. And when you do go out there, if you find somebody that you might think you enjoy, but it doesn't end up cultivating, or it doesn't end up going the way that you want to, don't let that stop you. Much like in everything in life, you can't let failure stop you from continuing to move forward. Because if we're willing to open our eyes, every failure we face teaches us how to move forward. Even in relationships, it teaches us about ourselves, it teaches us about what we want, and it gives us an opportunity to be able to face a emotional conflict that will aid us to be better at facing it in the future. And the thing is, a lot of emotional control, a lot of what we face as living beings becomes easier the more we face it. And that might seem counterintuitive, but you only learn how to be better when you are actually in it, when you are failing in it, or when you are succeeding in it. Either way, you only learn how to be better when you face that situation rather than the hypotheticals, because the hypotheticals don't mean much. So don't be afraid of life. Don't let not knowing what may come stop you from pushing forward. Stop you from looking for what there may be ahead of you. It might be scary, but life is scary. And when it comes to trying to find someone who will walk alongside you in the path of life, because that's what a relationship is, despite what the media has told you, despite what your expectations are, a real, true relationship is a partnership. It is when two people walk alongside each other down a path together, not one above another, not one for another, but together. Because that's what a relationship is. It's being together. It's working together. It's facing what life has for you together. When you're looking for something special, that's what you're looking for. And don't settle. You have no need to settle. One moment. Just need to take a quick sip. But don't settle, because you never need to settle when it comes to finding what you want in life. It might take time. It might not be easy. And you might not fully know what you're looking for, and that is all okay. It is. Because part of being human is making mistakes. Part of being human is changing. And those changes don't happen when they're planned. They just happen. And when you don't know, you don't know. And it's only by, like I said, facing the situations, facing adversity, facing things that you have not faced before, that you become better at to do so, that you are better equipped to do so, because you know more. You've learned, as long as you're willing to learn at the very least. So, to those of you out there, to all of you out there that are just getting into the dating game, both young and old, because it really doesn't matter. Be ready for the unexpected and be ready to change, because though you yourself should never change for someone else, you should only change for yourself, because that's the only time it's genuine. That's the only time it means something or it matters. But when you change for somebody else, it's only a surface level. And that action doesn't mean as much unless it comes from you and what you want. So, don't change for others. But when we face experiences, that changes us, whether we want it to or not. Every day we wake up, we are different people. And though those changes may be minute, it is due to the experiences that we faced on the daily that we become different on the daily. Accept that. Be accountable for that. Be aware of it. But don't be afraid of it. Because life is unexpected. And more often than not, even if you have a plan, even if you have wants, Murphy's Law is always at play. And you never know what's around the next corner. But don't be cowed by that. Step forward and know that even though you don't know what may come, you will be all right as long as you keep pushing. All right? Be it in love, be it in success, no matter what you want, you got this. You do. All right? Thank you, Nervous About Dating, for this submission and for the chance to talk about this. I truly do appreciate y'all. And before we get into our second submission, let's have a small commercial break, shall we?
Well, hey there, everybody. Did you know that Asian Fasha Gamer has a Patreon?
That's right, everybody, and we're here to tell you about it together.
Subscribers have a chance to see content early, as well as request content on higher tiers.
That's right. You can ask Asian Fashion Gamer to read you a story, talk to you about lore or gameplay, or many other things.
But wait, there's more.
Subs that have been stayed around for 3 months or longer get special gifts. And if we reach our stretch goal of 10 subs or more, we will continue to add more to the Patreon, making it better for all of you.
So please consider, at the very least, checking out Asian Fasha Gamer's Patreon. Maybe subscribing and supporting him. And of course, we thank you for your time.
Hey everybody, Mr. Announcer and Random Skull are here to tell you about something amazing.
That's right. We have a merch store known as the AFG Brand Store, where you can purchase many different things.
Do you want a tin cup? Do you want a water bottle? Do you need a shirt? Do you need other things? Things that make you so that you support Asian Fasha Gamer? Well, check out the AFG Brand Store.
But wait, there's more.
That's right. We are going to be continuing to add to the merch store. On the monthly, we'll be adding in new designs, as well as, of course, introducing discounts for all of you.
So check out the AFGBrandstore.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I do hope that y'all have been enjoying today's episode of Fahzaly Advice. And I want you to know that I truly do appreciate you, our viewers. You mean the absolute world to me. So thank you so very much for your support and for your time. Now, let's get on into our second submission, shall we? This one is brought to us by Bullied Mom, and they write, "Hey, what's up, Fasha? I hope you are doing well. So I could use some advice and perspective here when it comes to the situation I am dealing with. My daughter is now going into the 4th grade and is taking the bus because of a bunch of circumstances that have changed that I really don't want to go into and isn't relevant to the situation, at least what my daughter is facing. For the most part, she gets along with everyone she has met, and she doesn't really enjoy conflict. Since she was little, she has always been the one to find someone crying and make them laugh. And this is one of the reasons she seems to get along with everyone, even her teachers. But it seems it was this kindness that put her in the crosshairs of a bully. This bully takes the same bus as her and has been harassing her every day since she consoled one of this bully's victims on the bus as they were crying. Since then, this bully has been pulling her hair, making fun of her for being Nigerian, saying all kinds of nasty things that has her coming home in tears. I have attempted to bring this up to the parents in the hopes that we could find a solution without getting the school involved. And that turned into the bully's parents saying if I take action, they will make my life miserable. I am a single mother, and I, at the moment, am at my wit's end here. In this situation, Faja, how would you handle it? Sincerely, Bullied Mom." Oh dear. Bullied Mom, I am so sorry that you and your daughter are facing this. But there is hope. There is action that you can take. See, this is going to be something that, once again, I believe many people would disagree with me on. The thing is, violence doesn't really get us anywhere, especially us adults. It really doesn't, and it doesn't get kids anywhere anyways. And it's a really bad habit to teach them. But, in my opinion, you know what is a good thing to teach your children? That there is a system, and that they can take advantage of that system to help them feel safe when necessary. Now, this might seem drastic, but when it comes to bullies, when it comes to the safety of a child, all gloves are off. Because, me personally, I don't stand bullies in any way, shape, or form. And I don't care how old they are. There are consequences that will be faced, either by them or by the parents. Because there is legal recourse that you are able to take. There are things that you can do that will make their life miserable because of the actions and the words they choose to take and they speak. We have all the tools at our fingertips to take advantage of a system that doesn't really necessarily help us, but will allow for us to feel safer when we use it properly. Now, once again, many people won't agree with me here, but I view taking on and protecting my children and facing bullies the same way I view war. All is fair in love and war. With context, with subtlety, and restraint. But if done so properly, you can take advantage of what's out there to make sure that your daughter is safe and that the people whom refuse to take action are held accountable. The first thing that you need to do is record everything. Try once again reaching out to the parents, but this time, make sure you are recording. Now, depending on the state that you live in, This isn't something that you need to reveal to me. This is something that you need to look up. But depending on the state that you live in, if you have a single party consent state, you can record the conversation that is occurring. If it is not, make sure that you are upfront about the fact that you are recording this conversation and that this is for your safety and the safety of others. And start there with the conversation. Just be upfront about what you're doing, but make sure that you record every single interaction you possibly can. Make sure you have a record of both your interactions with the school, your interactions with the parents, and any interactions involving this particular bully. Then, bring it up to the school, bring it up to the principal, and if they're not willing to do anything, bring it up to the school board. And if they're not willing to do anything, bring it up in the next public meeting, because they have those. And in those instances, you are more than welcome to bring up any issue as long as you do so in a professional and prevalent manner. And if you have your information recorded, you can present that as well. And if they're not willing to listen, you can present it to those outside and let everybody know this is what's going on, posting it online and showing people that this is what your daughter is facing. Because these are the tools that we have at our fingertips today to make sure that we can protect ourselves and hold other people accountable that don't think that they can be. On top of, you can take legal action if necessary. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so you're going to have to look up what legal action you can take. But suffer not the bullies of the world. Take action, but do it smart. Don't do it in a way that seems like you're retaliating, you're attacking, or anything. Use the system to your advantage. Because bullies, more often than not, aren't really that intelligent. Just like trolls. They think they're smart. They think they can get away with anything. But the moment that they are held accountable for their actions, ooh-hoo, wah-wah, they become a blubbering mess that is unable to take accountability or responsibility because they did not expect to do so. And that is your goal. It's not to harm them. It's not to do anything illegal in any way, shape, or form ever. No, it is to show them the consequences of their actions. Because every action has a consequence. And some actions have bigger consequences. Sometimes there's legal consequences. And be it as there are children involved, it's not the children that usually face them. It's the parents. And if it comes down to it, you do also have the option, and I'm not saying that this is the one that you should take, but there is also the option of taking your child and moving them to another school if this becomes something that you can't necessarily handle. The steps that I would take are not the steps that I expect anybody else to take. Personally, I'm quite a drastic person when it comes to protecting the people that I love. And I'm not saying that the people that don't do that are wrong or doing it right or not doing it right or anything like that. I'm just saying I can go extreme and I'm not expecting anybody else to do so. But you did ask me how I would handle it. And that is exactly how I would handle it. I would never step above the line of the law. I would never do anything illegal, but I would do everything possible and everything I could to take advantage of the system that was there to ensure that everybody whom was responsible would be held accountable. Because once again, we have the tools at our very fingertips. It's our phone. The ability to record. The ability to ensure that people don't get away with things behind closed doors, especially those that are responsible for the care of our children, especially those that are responsible for educating our children. If they're not willing to be responsible or accountable for that, then they never should have been in the position in the first place. It's as simple as that. And if the system isn't willing to do something about it, make it public. Make it known. Turn it into a debacle. We have that ability to do so. As long as we stay within the legal bounds, we can do that. But once again, that is what I would do. But taking the extremities of myself aside when it comes to how I think about protecting others, take the actions that you need to take. First things first, record every interaction going forward. Talk to the people involved, once again, letting them know that you are now recording and you're going to do everything possible to, one, protect yourself and protect your child. Because there's nothing wrong with stating that. Secondly, or thirdly, go to the school. Talk to the school. Talk to the principal. Talk to whomever is associated with the bus drivers if they are contracted. And if they're not willing to do anything, go above them to the school district, to the superintendent of the school district. And if they're not willing to do anything, go above them. Continue to be a good parent like you are, and you are trying to be, and go above and beyond, because I can tell that's what you've constantly been doing. Do your best, as you have been. But don't stand for bullies. Don't be patient with bullies. Take action immediately. All right? Don't take the action that I would if it feels like it's too much. Trust me, for many people it is, and I don't expect that. I just personally, when it comes down to the safety of others, go to war in the most legal way I possibly can and use the system to my advantage in every way I can. But if that's too much, and there's nothing wrong with that being too much, do what you can. Do what you're comfortable doing. But protect yourself and protect your child. If you go forward with that in mind, you're going to be just fine. All right? I'm sorry that your daughter is facing this and that you are facing this. But you will overcome and you will be able to feel safe again. As long as you stand up for yourself and your daughter. All right? I hope that you have found value in my words. I hope that all submitters and all viewers found value in what I had to say. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Fahzaly Advice. Thank you so much. But it's time for this love train to get rolling on through. Choo choo. I love every single freaking one of you. Well, everybody, that's the end of Fahzaly Advice. I hope you did enjoy this episode and you found some value in what I said. And of course, if you are interested in participating, if you need some advice or some perspective, feel free to email the address at the end of this part. And remember, all submissions are 100% anonymous. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Need some perspective? Need some advice? Want your submission read on podcast? Well, email Fahza at fahzalyadvice@gmail.com. And remember, all submissions are 100% anonymous unless requested upon.